in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today's topic is very relevant, and that is women and higher education. Equality is not just the right thing to do, it's smart economics. How can an economy achieve full potential if it ignores, sidelines, or fails to invest in half its population? Although in the Vedic period, women had access to education in India, they had gradually lost this right. However, in the British period, there was revival of interest in women's education in India. During this period, various socio-religious movements led by eminent persons like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwarchand Vidyasagar emphasized on women's education in India. Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, Periyar and Baba Saheb Ambedkar were leaders of the lower castes in India who took various initiatives to make education available to the women of India. However, women's education got a flip after the country got independence in 1947, and the government has taken various measures to provide education to all Indian women. With participation of like-minded social reformers like Ram Gopal Ghosh, Raja Dakshin Ranjan Mukherjee, and Pandit Madan Mohan Tarkalkankar, established Calcutta's now Kolkata first school for girls in 1849 called the Secular Native Female School, which later came to be known as Bethune School. In 1879, Bethune College, affiliated to the University of Calcutta, was established, which is the oldest women's college in Asia. In 1878, the University of Calcutta became one of the first universities to admit female graduates to its degree programs before any of the British universities. This point was raised during the Libert Bill controversy in 1883, when it was being considered whether Indian judges should be given the right to judge British offenders. The role of women featured prominently in the controversy, where English women who opposed the bill argued that Bengali women, whom they stereotyped as ignorant and neglected by their men, and that Indian men should therefore not be given the right to judge cases involving English women. Bengali women who supported the bill responded by claiming that they were more educated than the English women opposed to the bill, and pointed out that more Indian women had degrees than British women did. But now, every year since 2012, MHRD complies and presents data on India's higher education base through its report. The recently released 2018-2019 report affirms India's rapid progression towards higher enrollment and inclusion. By harnessing this correctly, we can develop human capital to accelerate economic growth. In India, women constitute 46.2% of the total enrollment in higher education, but the female labor force participation rate is mere 21%, as against a global average of 40%. The issue of gender equality and higher education thus needs to be seen from the lens of universities and public policy, since the purpose of education is also to support gainful employment and to contribute to the national growth and development. While education at the primary level is the focus of debate for those concerned with literacy and human development, higher education is critical for social and occupational mobility. Policymakers should ensure that women are able to access better jobs or start up a business and take advantage of new labor market opportunities as the country grows. A policy framework encouraging and enabling women's participation should take into account the gender-specific constraints faced by women, especially in rural India. A question to ponder is, how can Indian universities help reduce gender inequality in the workplace? The empowerment through education would lead to enhancement of the living standards of women by helping them to enter the workforce as well as take part in governance. Make it easy for women to seek higher education by providing equal opportunities, testing for multiple skill sets during entrance tests, providing hostels, safety, transport, scholarships, etc. Universities must make special efforts to identify talent gaps and counsel and train girls for in-demand futuristic skills. A study shows that in Delhi alone, female scholars numbers just 24% in 127 institutions of national importance, though overall there are more females in 8 out of 16 undergraduate and postgraduate programs on the Indian campuses, according to the All India Survey on Higher Education 2018-19. There are more females pursuing science and medicine at undergraduate level, while the BCom now there are 99 females for every 100 males on campus. Also, women comfortably outnumber men among those graduating at UG, PG, PG diploma and MPhil level. Female participation is very high and has also increased sharply at MA, MSc and MCom level during the last 5 years. Today, some of the programs where the gender gap is significantly in favor of the females are medical at UG level, where it is 60.6%, art at 53.03%, and science at 51% of total enrollment. In master's level, there are more females in science and arts with 62.72% and 61.78% of the total enrollment respectively. Female participation has been dominant in BA, BEd, BSc Nursing, MA, MCom and MSc for past 5 years. But the bigger stride by women in the last 5 years has been made in BCom, BSc and MBBS. Females have also a lot of catching up to do in law, where enrollment stands at 33.7% and just 28% and 28.86% in BTech and BE respectively. In MTech, there has been a continuous decline as the number of females per 100 males have dipped from 64 in 2014-15 to 54 in 2018-19. Despite marked improvement from 58 females per 100 males to 75 in MBA courses and 64 in 2014-15 to 70 in 2018-19 in BCA, the gender gap remains significant. Women fare poorly in overall enrollment in technical education, BE or BTech, with the bulk of the institutions of importance offering professional technical courses. The biggest gap is at the undergraduate level, where there are 26,736 females as compared to 96,724 males. Similarly, at postgraduate level, the number of female is just 12,819 in a population of 50,201. We educate women because it is smart. We educate women because it changes the world, said Drew Frost, President, Harvard University. Now, to discuss this very important, relevant topic, women and higher education, we have a very elite, educated, experienced panelist with us. And I would like to invite my first guest. He is Dr. Rajiv Anand. Dr. Rajiv Anand is the senior psychiatrist and marriage counselor. Dr. Rajiv Anand passed his MBBS in 1976 and did MD in psychiatry in 1980 from King's George Medical College, Lucknow. He opted to serve his country when it was very common to settle abroad for brighter future. He has been serving society with his base in Mumbai. He has clients all over India as well as in many other countries. He was honored with Lifetime Achievement Award by AMA. He has conducted more than 3,000 workshops for different groups and companies with an audience size of 10 to 800. His television program on various channels have been widely appreciated for his forthright and practical approach. He is leading in the field of mental and emotional well-being for 40 years. He was president of IMA for 2 times. He was interviewed in several talk shows in domestic and internationally. Welcome, Dr. Rajiv Anand, on our show. Dr. Rajiv Anand, you are being a senior psychiatrist and marriage counselor. You are dealing with both the genders equally. So, but you know the conditions because those who are coming to you are from both the genders. And once you are dealing with the women, you know their problems, their situation, even their education and their job problems. So we would like to know from you that women and higher education. Dr. Rajiv Anand, please.
Good morning, Mr. Lal. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for setting the ball rolling by giving a very beautiful description of the today's topic. Welcome my co-panelists Manjuji, Samishri, and Madhu from Spain, and welcome the viewers across various states, Kerala and Karnataka and Bihar and UP and other part of the world through global TV. And I admire that many thousands of loyal viewers who have been viewing this program conducted so marvelously by Mr. Lal, untiringly over the last 10, 11 months or so. Women in education, women in higher education. Mr. Lal has very well elaborated the significance of this topic. Let us go back to 100 years, 19, 20, 21. And how many men in the society were going for education, leave aside higher education. Let's try to trace the history of our respective parents. How many men were allowed or have privileges to go for education even up to matriculation, what was called that time matriculation? Probably 1 out of 100. And we know what society was, what privileges we had, what means we had, what income group we had. Not that I look down in any way, but then the men's education came up, and with further progress in the country and further new institution coming up, today we can really have a pride that no country in the world can afford to bar Indians. Every country has Indian educated professionals. And I'm sure everybody is aware about by now, the latest president of USA has got 12 Indians, out of which few women who are his advisors, who are holding very, very important, very powerful position. तो ये हम कितना आगे आ गए in a matter of 100 years, or maybe less than that. As Mr. Lal said, education for equality, fair enough. Now, I would simplify it because I happen to meet people from both extremes, extremely highly educated women, and on the other hand, totally uneducated. To your amusement, I would say, I also come across men from different parts of the country who do not remember their wife's name even after being married for 10 years. And you can visualize what would be my state of mind that time when a husband who is married for 10 years can't recall his wife's name. How agitated I may feel that time. And this is the standard of education. I very strongly believe that no country, no society, no culture can ever progress if the women are kept in wraps, women are kept behind, women are kept suppressed, women are not allowed to see the light of the day, women are not allowed to come close. Maybe for different regions, social and other regions, till few decades back, society has a different social structure. Whatever it might have been, we are not going into those details. But today, as Mr. Lal said, and which I'm just simplifying it for the imagination of the viewers, if a cycle or a motorcycle has got 2 wheels, both the wheels have to have equal air. You just can't fill air in one tire. You can't pick up the speed. You can't reach anywhere. You would be just staggering. You would be just very very slowly moving on. You won't reach any destination. So for unknown reasons, or rather mysterious reasons, a major section of society in the gone era have kept the woman inside the home, which is pathetic, which is sad. Vis-a-vis now, no young woman want to be left behind without going for higher education. No young woman in any part of the world would like to be deprived of joining a graduation or post-graduation or further specialization courses. When I did my medical graduation in 1972 onwards, trend has already begun. We had 40 girls out of 180 batch. And this 40 girls has come from different part of the state and the country. And that trend has begun, let's say 50 years back. Now the trend has gained momentum far more. Women, if they get the education, have far bigger talent. If I may elaborate a little more, the physical maturity is biological maturity is natural right of every human being. We can't keep anybody deprived of food. We can't deprive anybody of oxygen or air. So physical maturity is a part of biological need. Similarly, emotional maturity is another aspect that every human being, man and woman, and women too, has to grow emotionally to connect to everyone around, to near and dear ones, to all the relatives, to all the key people in the life, and connect to them and take care of them. Take care is, I'm not saying in a derogatory way. I am also supposed to take care of everyone around in my life. And then additionally to physical maturity and emotional maturity is third dimension, which is intellectual maturity. So that a woman can be empowered, can be endowed with a sense of discrimination, what is fair, what is unfair, what is right, what is not right, how to give the best. When these three aspects would be balanced, physical, emotional, and intellectual maturity, then women's personality would go to a higher level. She would come out with unprecedented, unknown, unexplored dimension of her own personality. She would contribute in much more significant way to the society, be it a small society, be it a small town, or the city, or the country, or the world, and which is what exactly is happening. Today, nobody had imagined that the women would contribute in such significant way that till a year back, 4 or 5 major banks in our country, their hats were all women. Today, there are pilots who are women. I have friends who are women, who are pilots. Today, many of the principals of major institutions are also women. Scientists are women. Physicists are women. In different walks of life, in different professions, MBAs are women. They are not being left behind, and they are a very significant contributor to the progress of this society. For reasons, as I said, mysterious reason, men of the gone era has kept them primarily for basic function of procreation, that your duty is to produce children. Your duty is to make food at home. Your duty is to take care of everyone in the home. Fair enough. That was essential, undeniable aspect of women's personality, that she has to take care, she has to nurture. But she could not be tied up with that role and not step out of the home, not talk to another man, not get educated at all. To the time now where I would like to say something, and I would not like to miss it, that many of the current generation women who are going for higher education need to pause, need to sit down with someone. Anyone over here, academician, educationist like Manjuji, Samishri, who is vice principal, or Madhu, or Mr. Lal, or me, or thousands of people like us, and should fine tune periodically, where am I going to? Is my higher education meant only for getting me higher salary so that I can have better comforts, I can have better amenities, I can have more gadgets in my home? Should my higher education be the only source of income, which I can challenge my husband? I'm no less, dare not cross my way. I shall drop out of this marriage and I would live alone. Now, this is the wrong direction. Being in the profession of marriage counseling, I'm seeing the increasing, alarming trend of marriages breaking down all over, not only in India, world over. And the primary cause, unfortunately, the sad, primary causes. So-called higher education being misconstrued or misused or misapplied, leading to totally unwarranted arrogance, totally undesirable, misplaced misinterpretation of their power, educational power, that they can live without a man. Society need family. Society need marriage unit. Society need happy families. Society need happy couples. Society need happy children who are going to be happy civilians of tomorrow. Education is one means to achieve that. Education can't be obstruction in achieving that. Women's education is a very, very important means to have a very healthy balance between a man and a woman. All over the world, educated women get respect. Even the husband would respect her. Let women not use their education as, as a stick to beat around, to dominate, or to intimidate. This is my request, this is my appeal to all women who are highly educated. Sit down, pause, introspect, look deep inside, talk to someone. Let your education not break your marriage. Let your husband not go away distant from you because of your education. Let your education, higher education, make you a better human being, a better wife, a better mother, a better neighbor, a better civilian. As we have been learning over the decades, education makes us humbler. We become more civil, we become more humble, we become more responsible, we become more sensitive, we become more sensible. We realize that we are one clog in the wheel. We are one aspect of the whole society, the whole country, the whole universe. We alone are not running it. So this is my request to all women of all ages, especially the younger ages, who are much more fortunate and privileged than our grandmothers and mothers were. That they're getting good education, convert it into a good asset to you, to your family, to the society, to the country. I'm very keenly waiting to listen to Majuji, who is very renowned academician. So with Samishri, so wide experience she has. So with Madhu, who very gladly accepted to adjust with the time. Madhu is right now having 5:30 in the morning at Spain, yet she agreed. I was concerned whether she will manage. She said, no, I will manage. I would like to participate. So, Mr. Lal, your popularity is going across boundaries. Congratulations, Mr. Lal, and thank you for all for coming over here. And let me listen to the other panelists.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anand. First of all, thanks that about the popularity of the show. It's not my popularity. It's because of the viewers as well as because of the panelists like you who contribute in immensely the knowledge which people wants. And our endeavor is to give the positive things to the public at large. Now, what Dr. Rajiv Anand said is that if we go back to 1920-21, even the men were not educated in India. Not much, very few. According to him, about 1% men were educated. But gradually, men and women started educating. But he said that there was a mentality that people doesn't want that the female or the women go for the higher studies because it was considered that the women are only to do the home household work or for the children, not for the jobs outside. But he said that was wrong. It should not be there. No culture, no city, no country or nation wants that the women has to be kept under wrap. And that's why the women education started. But he said the problem started also in the other way, that when the women got the higher education, they sometimes feel that I am educated, I can be independent, then why to go with the family only? And that starts the conflict. So according to Dr. Rajiv Anand, no women should consider this, because higher education is not to break the family, but to build the family, to make the keep everyone together. And he says that is possible and that is going to happen because the youngsters, the young generation which is coming up is very, very going enthused for going for higher education. And then if they will just consider this, that higher education is not only to earn more money or to get the higher jobs, that is one aspect, but the other aspect is that one should be a family oriented also. They should have the family, but they can also work. So that is the views of Dr. Rajiv Anand, but he says the higher education is must. And he says when he was a student of medical college in 1972 batch, he have 40 female students out of 180 batch. Yes, but now the percentage in the MBBS has increased drastically. The girls are more as per the report which I have read earlier. So education, and especially the higher education, the girls are moving, except few of the you can say the classes or courses where the girls are lacking behind. Otherwise, in many fields, they are ahead of everyone. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand, for giving your views in such a very, very easy way so that our viewers are quite enlightened. Now, I would like to go to my next panelist, and she is Miss Manju Sadarangani. Miss Sadarangani has been an educationist for nearly 5 decades. Though these years, she has headed varied academic, non-academic, and administrative posts to train and lead young teachers and youth. Her passion in dealing with the student body, staff, and even parents most effectively has proved her to be a reliable, committed, and inspirational leader, always exhibiting courage and passion towards guiding them. She has effectively nurtured strengths in her students and built effective leaders of tomorrow. She is currently teaching ICSC, IGCSC, and IB students, along with training speech and drama. She continues to pursue her passion. Welcome, Ms. Manju Sadarangani, on our show. Please unmute yourself. Ms. Manju Sadarangani, you have heard what Dr. Rajiv Anand has said. Now, we would like to know from you, as you are a educationist for nearly 5 decades with having so much experience. So we would like to know from you your views on women and higher education. Ms. Manju Sadar Rangani, please.
Good morning to everyone there, Mr. Lal, Goel. It was good to see you talk about the quick evolution of the position of women in the ancient era of India and then to the statistics today. Mr. Rajiv Anand, we did get a good perspective on what higher education can lead to in terms of positive or negative effect in a family, because you're looking at it from a perspective of a psychiatrist and a marriage counselor. Good morning to Madhu and Shamashri too, my co-panelists with me. I look at this issue as an education from a very different perspective in terms of the role that an educationist can play and is expected to play today in the challenging times. They say education is the passport. The future for tomorrow belongs only to those who prepare for it today. So why go in for further education? We are talking about women, especially. What changes do you think happens when you encourage them to pursue their dreams or higher education? What I noticed as a leader and on that chair when I interacted with women was that those who were highly qualified but definitely knew their rights and were more empathetic towards those they met in their life. Their attitude to survival rates, health issues, health problems of the family and their children was far, far better. Most of them don't get married early. Neither do they guide their children to get married early because it's a big responsibility and you need to prepare for it. So that definitely led to later pregnancies and smaller families. But let us look at the other side of it today. If you are an educationist, whom do you come across? Whom can you influence today? Whom can you talk to directly? We are not just a statistic to talk that this can be done. We are not talking about future. We are talking about what can you do today. If you are on a chair as an educationist, do you find out who are the teachers in your school who want to pursue higher education but are not even aware that they can do certain part-time jobs and join some part-time courses that are there to better themselves, because you can find out a passionate teacher but she really doesn't know the way. I did that very, very often. I would go through their bio data submitted to me, and I would call a few of them and tell them, do you know something? You could do this course. It would suit you. And then in years to come, you'll be grateful you've done it. And they would always 90% tell me, yes, I can do it because it's a part-time. What else do you do for them? You come across in your neighborhood directly. It could be women who are already interacting with you. It can be women whom you meet for a fraction of a second and know that there is great frustration in her because of lack of finance or lack of job opportunity. That is the time for us to guide them and say, give me a call. I'll just tell you what is the thing that you can probably do. It may be a casual remark, but it really goes a long way when it comes to somebody being guided. And youngsters today and young ladies today definitely need that guidance. Give it. Just go ahead and give it, I feel. Because as an educationist, we don't wait for somebody to knock at your door. Through your life, through your day, through your interaction, you will always meet somebody that needs your guidance and help. Go ahead and do it. Don't wait. Another greatest advantage I realized was that though women are biologically different, they possess the same thinking, learning, and the aptitude ability of men. Don't judge them differently. They may yet not be able to do every task a man can do, but mentally they are vigilant enough. And if you were to compare them, they are more elastic in their nature, more flexible. Give them that opportunity. They don't break that easily. Because sometimes you have a woman coming in and telling you that I'm a single parent and I have 2 kids to look after, ma'am. Will you take them in your school? Of course I will. If you're a single parent, there is no taboo. Go ahead. And then I would even ask that parent, what is she doing? Where is she working? And in so many of these cases, they wanted to pursue higher studies in something. Go ahead, guide them, tell them, because this is the time to do. One person guided by you, one woman guided by you are literally guiding the whole family. You're ensuring that the whole family blossoms, and you're ensuring that there is some connect. And from where does this passion come in you? As an educationist, you have definitely given so many exams, so many varied exams. And if you have been a success, then let it rub off into the others. I always tell my students, young students today who are married and have pursued, your education is a stamp on your forehead. I found that people or ladies who are highly qualified or educated were definitely able to handle children better. And I, as an educationist, found a big change in me. Do I only value the rankers? Do I only value the high performers? Yes, I do value them, but I can even guide them how to achieve what they dream of. Do I not look after those who are less privileged or those who probably are having ADHD and other issues? Yes. In fact, there's so much of empathy in understanding the new education system that it is possible to definitely guide them better. And I found I could do it. So why go in for higher education? Then imagine yourself to be a jug of water. It's only when you overflow with love and affection are you able to share something from your saucer as well. Your love does overflow. Give that opportunity. I run an NGO also, but I focus only on the girl child in major outskirts of the city. I do visit and I do have the underprivileged children, but I'm amazed the zest the women have to teach the girl child, but the opportunities are not there. So could we look at it from a way that as you are an organ donor, as running a society or a center that takes care, we also have those that would definitely have small units being set up at the outskirts of the city to provide this opportunity to those who have done their SSC, but do not have further means to know what else they can do. Yes, there is so much else that can be, but guidance is lacking. So we have a few opportunities that we definitely guide them, but it seems that is yet never enough. And I feel that there are rare cases today when maybe marriages would break up because of financial differences, because at the end of the day, even the finances keep you together. If they break you, they also make you. So we look at it positively that yes, two hands are better than one. Give an opportunity, give a guidance to them to go in for higher studies. And in the words of Malala, who was world renowned, she says, you provide that education today that will make a future secure for the women and let them touch the heights. We are not talking only about the aviation with the pilots.
So thank you very much, Ms. Manju, for giving views. And one more point which she has added is that higher education is going to help you to give your more love and affection to family and to others. And she has given an example of a jug full of water, and so that it can, or whatsoever liquid in that. So what she says is the higher education is always better for building up a good society, a good nation. Thank you very much, Ms. Manju Sadarangani. We will come back to you in the next round. So thank you very much. Now I would like to go and invite my next guest, and she is Ms. Shamashri Sen. Ms. Sen is the Vice Principal of NL Dalmia High School, Mumbai. Sen is the Vice Principal of NL Dalmia High School, Mumbai. She is having over 20 years experience. She has done Masters in English Literature from Calcutta University, Masters in Music from Vishwa Bharati University, and PGDM. She did postgraduate diploma in learning disability, trained in NLP and mind mapping. She is also the master trainer for early child education. Welcome, Ms. Samashri Sen on our show. Ms. Sen, you have already heard what Dr. Rajiv Anand as well as what Ms. Manju Sadarangani has mentioned in their opening remarks. And both emphasize that higher education is good, although reservations or their views are a bit different, because what Dr. Rajiv Anand says is that higher education, the women should take it for the purpose of making the family, not breaking the family. But what Miss Manju Sarangani says that, okay, the money earned by the higher education is more, sometimes even the women is earning more, but it is going to make the house, not the break the house in the current situation. Now, we would like to know from you the women and higher education. Ms. Samashri Sen, please.
Thank you so much. And good morning to Goel sir, Dr. Anand, my co panelist Manju, who has been a colleague of mine in our early days of the career, and Madhu from Spain. It gives me great honor and a privilege to be a part of this panel. And I would like to share some of my views that I feel why higher education is so required for women of today. So before I start, I would like to, quote Mahatma Gandhi, who had said that if you educate the man, you educate the person. But if you educate the woman, you educate the nation. So at this juncture in our life, I think creating a conducive society, creating a nation which will help in the growth, not only financially, but mentally also, the cognitive development, everything that is going to take place, yes, it depends a lot on the women. And why does it depend so much on the women? Because indirectly, the woman is the person who is creating the nation for us. So, one of the most significant transformations that we have seen in India over the past several decades is the drastic increase in women's access to colleges and universities, formulating, implementing stringent and powerful laws and policies have addressed the malice of gender discrimination of higher education. So, when we talk about higher education, what is it that defines higher education? What is that we understand is higher education? So is it post their the college, or is it much higher? So once a woman, an educated woman, has the skills, the self confidence and the power to be a better citizen, she will nurture better children, she will nurture the society in a way that will create a much more conducive and a growing and empowering society of ours. Women have all the power and the capacity as that of men, and they are manifesting themselves amongst different opportunities provided through higher education. In fact, today in Times of India we have a supplement wherein you see the women in different fields wherein they have made a name for themselves. As Dr. Anand and Manju Sadrangani has also mentioned, the all women pilot team that has traveled the North Pole, and the fighter pilots that women are producing. So what is it, why do we need women to be empowered, women to go in for higher education? As Dr. Goel has so well, has told us earlier that women are the caregivers. Yes, we give birth to new life. But why is it? Why did God create this? I think because women have the power to touch the lives of many. I predominantly like to work with the pre-primary section because I like to create, children who have the empathy, who will grow with a sense of belonging. And a sense of belonging only comes when you get that sense of belonging. So, what is it that higher education leads a woman to complete living? And what is complete living? When there is self confidence, when there is the necessity to create a family, the involvement, and the ethical value, the spiritual value, the social value, the intellectual values that a woman can create for a child in the early years. I think this is something that women only possess. Maybe it is the biological aspect that we are born with. So the homely environment with which a woman's love is the first learning for a child. And an educated mother, if a mother is educated enough, she will create a better environment for the child to gather, analyze, allow the child to think critically out of the box, which is the challenge that every one of us is facing today. So, an educated woman leads to what? An educated woman will create a society, will create an environment which will lead further to enriching the lives of many, enriching and enlightening the people who are around her. So the current economical and social scenario that we are in, it is just not about women uh, gaining an independence in finance, like being able to run the family, but the social stability that an educated woman can bring, I think, is very important and need of the hour today in the world, the challenging world that we are living in. So, women education and empowerment are the indicators. What are the indicators? They are the indicators of development. Women education ensures the holistic and long development, equitable and increased access to the technical and vocational education and training. Higher education does not only restrict itself to gaining degrees in colleges, it also opens the skills, vocational skills, even skills that a person can attain and be self-reliant and help the society to be more self-reliant and independent, not depending upon the others to fend themselves, as Dr. Anand had so rightly spoken about, that the financial independence today is leading to a lot of um, mental confusion, I would say, in women today. But if we can look on the flip side of it, yes, I think women have endured a lot in the hands of the male in the society earlier. It is not right if to say that the women are doing the right things by being financially independent, yes, but to nurture them, we need educated mothers to show that earning is not the right living, but giving back to the society, giving back to the children, to bring in a very social and amicable society is what an educated woman of today is required to. So education definitely will create, will enlighten and allow a person to think more critically, and that will constitute and give rise to a better and uh, a challenge that the society will take up, and it will help a better growth financially and socially in our community. I think that is something that I would, very rigorously I follow, that every parent who brings the child in the pre-primary section in our school, the women does not feel neglected, that they are, kept at home to maybe look after, tend to the family. I think women tend better to their emotional skills are much higher than men. So it is the responsibility of us women to nurture good seed people, so that these seed people of today will bring a better future for our country tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sen, for giving your views. And what Ms. Sen says, she says that education, higher education, is not only the degree of the college or university, it can be skilled. And the advantage of higher education is then they can nurture the family, they can nurture the child better than an uneducated. And she has mentioned that she says that always the women is seen as a weaker section, but she's not weak. She's giving a new life in existence in the on the earth. And she says that if the woman is educated, she can imbibe good moral values, good education to the child, so that the child, once grow, can become a good citizen of the nation, and it is a betterment for the society and nation. She also said that if the higher, because of the higher education, if the woman is earning and if she is spending good for the social work, for the benefit for the society, it is a very, very positive sign. And that is why a higher education is required. But if she is not going to be educated, then she will not be able to understand the positions of others. And that's why she says, even if she is earning money, she can spend the money for the good causes, and she can give the good values for the children, for the family, which is required, and that is only possible if the woman is educated, whether by university or colleges, or even a skill which she can even do social work by training others, and she can give that type of contribution for the nation building. Thank you very much, Ms. Sen, for giving your views about the women and higher education. Now, I would like to invite my next guest, and she is Miss Madhu Dhankani Thawani. Miss Madhu is a businesswoman based in Spain. She is the owner of the Wellness Center, Indian restaurant, Homebians company dealing in furniture. First of all, I would like to thank Miss Madhu especially because she is joining from Spain. It's too early there at this moment to join from Spain. Very well, good morning to you, Miss Madhu. Miss Madhu, you have heard what Dr. Rajiv Anand, watch what Miss Manju Sadarangani, as well as what Miss Samshri Sen has mentioned before you. And they were very clear. They says that higher education is required for the women, and then only they can contribute to the society, even for a good family, or to get a good moral or educational vibes in the family. The higher education is required for a woman. Now, we would like to know from you the women and the higher education. Miss Madhu Dhankani, please.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I am from Spain. I born and brought up in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and from past 20 years, I'm living in Spain. When I came to here, my education was not completed. Okay, so I still feel regret that I I wish I would complete my education, and I feel that the family breakup is not because cause of higher education. I'm in Spain. There are a lot of families who are uneducated, and the breakup rate are more higher rate than India. And the people who are educated, the breakup is percentage is more less than. So I think the women and the same with the men and women, the education and higher education is like a treasure for you. When I came to Spain, मेरी एजुकेशन जो हुई है वो हिंदी में हुई है. ओके, तो जब मैं यहाँ आई तो I struggle a lot with the language. Okay, it was not same respect as in especially in the Indian society when you are in a good in English. Okay, but मैंने slowly उस चीज को अपने दिमाग से निकाला कि English एक just a communication है. If you achieve something, people will see you what you are in present. They will not see you which language you are communication. Then I started to learn a lot of things. And मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब आप एक education में आते हैं, it's not about degree. It's just gain your knowledge. Knowledge, anything about any knowledge about your business, about cooking, about anything is about knowledge. जब आपको एक knowledge आता है, वो knowledge आप कभी भी अपनी life में उसको use कर सकते हैं. अगर आपके पास नॉलेज है, आप अपने बच्चों को अच्छी तरह सिखा सकते हैं, आप अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता है कि कहीं ऐसा है कि प्रॉब्लम्स जब आती हैं तो सिर्फ मैन की लाइफ में आती है. प्रॉब्लम जब आती है तो दोनों की लाइफ में आती है. तो हर किसी का अपना पर्सपेक्टिव होता है और हर किसी को अपना वे ऑफ थिंकिंग है. इसके लिए अगर जब आपकी लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम आती है, व्हेन यू आर एजुकेटेड, व्हेन यू हैव लॉट ऑफ नॉलेज, आप उसको बेटर तरीके से सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, उसके बाद आई थिंक एवरी डे यू यूज योर नॉलेज. विदाउट योर नॉलेज यू आर जस्ट नथिंग. आप जब कुकिंग करते हैं, यू यूज योर नॉलेज. व्हेन यू आर ड्राइविंग, यू आर यूजिंग योर नॉलेज. When you are in business, you are using your knowledge and your everything. Every moment we are using our knowledge. अगर मेरा एजुकेशन, अगर मेरी एजुकेशन जो बेसिक एजुकेशन थी, अगर वो उससे बेटर होती, तो ऑफ कोर्स जो मैंने स्ट्रगल किया है लाइफ में वो शायद शॉर्टर टाइम के लिए होता. But I struggle and I realize that education is very important. My daughter, she's 8 years old, and I'm trying that she have to study a higher education because what I suffered, I don't want that she suffered the same. And I honestly, I don't believe that the woman or man or anyone who's higher educated and the breakup of the family because of cause of this. No, it's everybody's own personality. If you are educated, you know right and wrong. And there are a lot of people who are not educated, and they are the divorce are higher. So I think जब आप educated हैं, आप किसी के ऊपर depend नहीं हैं. Okay, you can buy whatever you want. Nobody can cheat you. You can go anywhere in the world. You are no have fear. You can fight with your rights every moment. You are independent. And I achieved all this business and all these things, I think, just because of my education. And every moment I'm still learning. Without education, I think women are nothing. For me, is we have to support a woman for higher education or any other skills. Not only about the degrees, what we said, not about the degrees, any other skills. And I've seen especially in Germany and the Holland, the people are not talking about education, about the degrees. They talk about the educated. It's you are how you talk with others, how you respect your parents, how you communicate in a society, how you fight for your rights. So, and I've seen that people in European countries, they never talk about that women are higher educated or men is higher educated, and because of women higher educated, we are separate. They never talk about how much you earning. I think the breakup and this is everybody's own personality. I remember when I was small, मुझे कुछ चाहिए होता था, तो I was a fighter from the beginning, from the small. मुझे कुछ चाहिए लाइफ में, तो I can, I used to fight for my rights. That moment I was not a high educated. So I think when we fight for the rights, it's not because we are high educated, because it's our nature. We know what is right and what is wrong. If you are just a basic educated, also the same thing will happen. So this is my point of view. I think my English is not good, but I have no any feeling, and I feel proud that I have basic education and very good school who taught us from how to survive the life, how to be happy, not how to gain the money. That was not a goal when I was small, 20 years or 30 years back. That was not a goal, how to earn the money, how to be happy. And the base of the education is how to be happy. And to be happy, we need everything. We need family, we need money, we need health, we need friends, we need society. And to balance and to be in harmony with that, we can use our treasure. It's like a treasure for you. When I came to Spain 24 years ago, I came alone without anything. It was just for me, it was my treasure. It will go with my all the life. My parents, they were few years with me. Okay, my husband is not 24 hours with me. Who's with me? My education, my knowledge is 24 hours with me. And who is guiding me? My knowledge. So I think even my daughter, she asked me when she born when she was 4, 5 years ago, she asked me why I need to go school. Then I explained her, you need to go school because every moment you need education. Every moment you use will this. I will be with you for a short time after 20 years, or maybe sometimes I will not be with you. But this education, you will use every moment. Then she asked me why the mathematics is important. Then I explained her, when you go to the supermarket, you will use the mathematics. When you go for the driving, you use the calculation, how to park the car. When you go to the doctors, you need the science to communicate which medicine you have to take. I think, and even the cooking, we think the woman just go after marriage, she has to cook the food and she just need to house work everything. But that moment, I believe, that moment also we are using our knowledge. When the child is sick, we are using our knowledge. What medicine we have to give, what home remedies we have to give them. So I think education is just not about the degrees. Education is about how to live life, how to be happy, healthy. That's all.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Madhu, for giving your very honest and from your heart your views. And
Thank you.
Madhu has said very clearly that she is not highly educated. She got the basic education from India and from Rajasthan, and she has shifted to Spain. And initially, she found lots of problem especially in the Indian community, because they feel that if you cannot communicate in English, you are not a good person to be associated. And she has to struggle for everything. But she says her knowledge, her training from her parents worked, and she independently started her own businesses, and she is a very successful businesswoman today. But she says if she would have taken the higher education, her struggle will not be that much what she has struggled, because she was not having higher education. But now she is all set to see that her daughter will get the higher education, because whatsoever she has missed, she must get. But her emphasis is one, that knowledge is very important. If even if you have a higher education, if your knowledge is not there, then it's of no use. But if even if you have no that much education, but you have knowledge, you can do wonders. But for that, education is required. Without education, you will not get the knowledge, according to Miss Madhu. And she says that even in other countries, they are not interested to know about your education, qualification. They want to see how you communicate, your etiquettes, your behavior, your communication with others. And especially she named the Germany and Holland. So according to her, higher education is required, but side by side, knowledge is also required, so that one can be successful in the life. Thank you very much, Ms. for giving your such a, I will say, emotional but educative views. I'm sure our viewers who are watching today program are very much enlightened with all the four panelists who have given the views about the higher education in their own ways. Thank you very much. But before I will go for the question round, I will also like to share my own experience. It is not mine, but my mother. My mother topped Agra University from Indore, Holkar College. At that time, Agra University was very big, huge, even into MP also, Indore. And she topped in MSc Chemistry in 1948. But the examiner who came for the Viva, he told her, because you are a lady, you have topped, you are getting, and because she already got the scholarship for further studies in USA for her doctorate, he said that scholarship will go to a boy because you are a lady, you are going to marry in any case. Why you want to see that the boy should not get the scholarship? And my mother said that I sacrificed my scholarship, although she topped the Agra University in MSc Chemistry gold medalist in 1948. But anyways, she worked. After that, she, with my father, who was a leading tuberculosis specialist, they both worked together, and she was running the entire pathology and taking care of all the patients. But the difference between men and women were there and is still there. So that is why I wanted to add, because once you already mentioned, everybody mentioned that how the men and women, the difference will always there. And now we see the new generation, the difference is going away. And the boy is also doing the same work which girl is doing, whether it's a homework, household work, or taking care of the child, which in our generation also, I can also say very honestly, we have never done that type of work in our generation. I'm sure Dr. Rajiv Anand is also in the same category, but I can say for myself. Now, my question to you, Dr. Rajiv Anand, you said that money, fame, with a higher education, definitely the lady or the woman gets more money, sometimes more fame also. Because as one of the panelists says, the behavior, their etiquettes definitely are far better than the man, how they behave socially, because man loses his control, he is very short-tempered, but the women always very balanced. Do you think the men are jealous of women? I can give you the very famous one movie which has come called Abhiman of our uh, today's the topmost Sadi Nayak, Amitabh Bachchan, and his real wife, Jaya Bahaduri. And that movie, when I saw at that time, I also have the same impression that if your wife is earning more, you have that feeling, that complex. Now, you are a psychiatrist. I don't know whether it's an inferior complex or a superiority complex, but do you think this complex comes even now, or it was the gone case, it was for the past? Dr. Rajiv Anand, please.
Thank you, Mr. Lal, for raising a very, very valid, very topical question, which is being thought about world over. Let me put it my view, howsoever educated we may become. Most of us are men. Listen to me completely before you judge me. We have been genetically loaded with a misplaced programming that because of physical prowess, man is superior animal. In animal world, there is a need for superiority because of muscular power. But in an evolved, civilized human being, there is no need for superiority. No need for animal power, no need for muscle power, no need for any power. So when a man and woman choose to live together as loving partner, where the need for superiority or inferiority? When we take those Sat Fera very gladly, rather most of the time hurriedly, not that most of the time any individual take, but most people do take hurriedly for the agenda thereafter. They do not go through it in detail. In our traditional Hindu system, we have a word called Ardhangani. Ardhangani, what a beautiful word. Jivan Sangani, what a beautiful word. So we have to accept that the marriage and the relationship was essentially meant for rising within ourselves to accept our life partner as equal. Now, let me also say in the same breath, and I request everybody whomsoever I can, that irrespective of who earns less or who earns more, money is coming to the family. It's the family's income. It's the family's money. It's the family's asset. It doesn't make a difference that a particular period of time a man is earning more wife is earning less, wife is earning more, man is earning less. Let no one go in tangent because of little extra money. Last comment to the precise question Mr. Lal has asked. We men have yet long way to go to accept women coming equal to us, at times outshining us. We have to accept it. Some of us have begun accepting it, maybe grudgingly, maybe half-heartedly, but most men have yet to go a long way. Till that happen, society will progress in a halting way. Over to you, Mr. Lal.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand. And I am sure this advice definitely the viewers must follow, because after all, he's a psychiatrist and he has dealt for last 4 decades, more than 4 decades, the problems which he has seen. And he is very right that money has no role for a family to break, because after all, the money is coming to the family, whether wife is earning or man is earning. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand, for giving your view. Now I would like to go to my next panelist, Ms. Manju uh, Sadarangani, please. Are you there?
Yes, I
Okay.
can hear.
Okay, now your camera is also not moving. Good, thank you. You have mentioned about the delay of marriage because of higher education. And because of that delay in the pregnancy and the delay for the child born, do you think it is good for the society, for the family, for the society, for the nation, that because of the higher education, because the girl is taking higher education, she has to spend initial 24, 25, sometimes 27 or 30 years to become some professional, and then she go for the wedding, the marriage, and then again delay for the children, and then, so is it healthy or good, or you want to give some other advice? Miss Manju, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Goel. I think that we have moved a long way from one extreme of the problem that we had with child marriages. When girls were married off at the age of 6, 7, 8, like you would hear about your grandparents maybe getting married so early, and the woman was only delegated to the duty of becoming a childbearer. 10 kids, 12 kids, so on and so forth. Today, we have come literally to the other end of the pendulum, where higher education is there. Not only that, a woman can make a choice. When do I want to marry? And she can discuss it with her partner. I cannot fix an age for marriage. We know biologically when is the right age or a proper age. But at least there are certain priorities I feel that women are focusing to today. Am I independent enough? Will I be able to nurture and take care of my children when have them? Am I able to fulfill some part of my dreams and aspirations before that, or at least lay a foundation? So that may happen at the age of 20, that can happen at the age of 24. I won't tell everybody, yes, be like Salman Khan or anybody and marry after 50 or 60. I'm not advocating that. Those are rarities. Yeah, those are rare situations. But yes, take time off to finish a quality education and foundation and know your financial stability. The reason being is today's times are different and very challenging. I have to be very practical and tell you what does a house cost today? What does transport cost today? What do the school education or the schools and institutes ask of the parents today? It is not like 10 and 20 rupees of the olden days. Today, it's a thought out family. It is a planned family. And it is a family which is decidedly saving for it and thoughtful. So maybe, you would have some children marrying at the age of 25, Sometimes it could be late 20s, and it could be even early 30s. In rarest case, children cross 40 today. But today, we as parents cannot argue. You will realize it is discussions that take place, and children are able to tell you why they are taking that decision. And we have to respect it. Respect them. Tell them the pros and cons, but respect their decision. Then what happens is they become confederates to your understanding and take a right decision. So delaying education is okay, right decision will follow.
Okay,
That is my take.
thank you very much, Ms. Manju, for giving your such a educative, informative peace of mind that that decision belongs to the new generation, but they should listen to the older generation for their advice. Decision is theirs. Thank you very much, Ms. Manju. Now, my next question is to Ms. Samshri Sen. You mentioned that educated women, the higher educated women or the skilled women can look after the family. But our history says even our uneducated great grandparents or earlier generations, the ladies were imbibing very high moral values in the family, and that's why Indian culture is supposed to be the superior or the best in the world. And we have even seen in this COVID time what we have mortality rate is the minimum in the world because of the thanks to the women, thanks to the mother, because of the homemade food, the recipes, the kitchen, which has been provided by the lady of the house, the mother or the sister or the daughter or the whosoever. But they were not educated. I'm talking of 3 generation back of mine or 4 generation of back, the young generations. But still, they were having full morality and whatnot. So if higher education is only for this purpose, then what is the use to send a girl for higher education? Miss Sen, please.
Thank you, sir. As I had spoken earlier, I'll reiterate the same thing. Higher education does not mean getting degrees from universities. Our great grandparents and your great grandparents, our entire generation, years earlier, the women were knowledgeable. We cannot undermine the knowledge that they had. The generation to generation, the knowledge was given from one parent to another to another. What I was speaking is of the society today. Why is our society so violent? We mothers are like gardeners. A sapling is given to us and we have to nurture it. How we make a rose plant into a rose, or we help it to become a jungly plant, it is for us to determine. It is for us to nurture it and help a small cocoon to metamorphosize into a beautiful butterfly. Yes, women have always held the reins of the house in looking after the health and security of the entire family, and generations, children, their extended families all have stayed together, and it was the mother or the aunt or everyone who had to look into the healthy meals that they were supposed to churn out from their kitchen. It is not that they were not educated. Yes, they might not have a certification from the Harvard University or the Oxford University, but what they naturally imbibed from their parents, the knowledge that yes, even today, if we have cold, in spite of being introduced to Google, who is our all-time doctor and all-time help given to us, we still go back to the age-old system of boiling little garlic in mustard oil and applying it on children. So this nuska, as we speak about, has come to us from generations. It might not be a degree that my great grandmother might have achieved, but it is the knowledge that has helped us to bring into society what it is today. And today, why are parents so much, why are women, sorry, not parents, I would say, why are women so required to be encouraged to go into, skilled knowledge, is because they are the people, they are the, person who will guide the children. Look at the way the media has conquered the mind of the children today. A 2.5-year-old child comes for admission to school with a cell phone in their hand, constantly glued to whatever, they are, whether it is cartoons or whatever it is. So who is the person? Is the father there to allow the child that limited time to watch it, or is it the mother's duty? So if a mother is not well educated, not in universities, but knowledge imbibed through reading or from generations that has come, how is a sapling growing into a rose and not a jungly plant? So
Okay.
that is what I mean to say,
Okay.
that they need to be knowledgeable enough to know what is right and what is wrong. Thank
Okay,
you so much.
thank you very much, Miss Sen. My question to you, मधु जी, आपसे मेरा क्वेश्चन है, मैं आपसे हिंदी में पूछ रहा हूँ क्वेश्चन, क्योंकि we are also proud of हिंदी, there is no doubt about it. If I know हिंदी तो मैं हिंदी में बात भी कर सकता हूँ, कि जब अपन फॉरेन कंट्री में देखते हैं, वहां पे हायर एजुकेशन के लिए मैन और विमेन या गर्ल और बॉय का कोई ऐसा डिफरेंस नहीं है, और इवन जिन्हें जो हायर एजुकेशन में नहीं भी जा रहे हैं, बट दे आर वेरी वेरी सक्सेसफुल, एज यू सेड अबाउट द नॉलेज. तो डोंट यू थिंक कि हम जो हायर एजुकेशन के लिए इतना एम्फेसिस करते हैं अपनी कंट्री में, इवन इंडिया में, उसकी जगह अगर हम नॉलेज इम्पार्ट करें, which you said initially also,
Yes.
whether
Yeah.
he's high school or 12th or whatsoever that, and जैसे पहले मैट्रिक और वो हाई स्कूल होता था, लेकिन अगर उस वक्त हमें नॉलेज मिल जाए, वो और टेक्निकल नॉलेज मिले, स्किल ट्रेनिंग मिले, that will be more beneficial, as you said. Miss Madhu, please.
Yes. Of course, if you are high educated and you have also knowledge, it's very good for your future, of course. But आप ये बोल सकते हैं कि अगर आपको knowledge है, you can survive anywhere. Okay? अगर आपके पास knowledge और education है, so you can achieve something. Okay, so this is the difference. Of course, now these days in the European countries, they are not depend on only the education, because today you are learning banking, but tomorrow you never know that the technology will come and your study which you complete about the banking, there is no use. Okay, so a lot of job opportunities are now changing. If you have a knowledge, any knowledge, you can survive. So the people are now giving importance of the education, they are giving importance of the sports, they are giving importance of any other hobby, any, like if you know the cooking, you are good in cooking, you have very good options of as a chef. If you are very good in cleaning, for example, you are good in a cleaner, you can open your own cleaning company. If you are good in management, you can be a manager. So it's not about the degree.
Okay, thank you very much, because of the paucity of time. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Miss Madhu, for giving your views. So today, viewers, you have seen that higher education, and especially for the women, why it is required, and the old perception that if a woman or if a woman is highly educated, she is going to dictate her terms, is not correct. She is one, as Dr. Rajivanan says, if she is your wife, she is your Adhagni, she is your equal partner, if not above. And she is bringing the money for the benefit of the family, and in turn, the benefiting the society if she is educated high. So one must go and encourage the women for higher education. And in India, I am sure with the new education policy 2020, the lots of opportunities are there, and we are very proud to say that our changes in a very short time in India has already seen and India is going to see. Thank you very much for joining. And today's program, which has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Saroka News, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day a new topic. And the tomorrow's topic is role of youth in NGOs. And our chief guest is Miss Sarita Jadhav. She is a national program officer in UNESCO at New Delhi office. So, and along with 5 to 7 youth who are going to be interacting with her. So thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Rajiv Anand, Miss Manju Sadarangani, Miss Shamshri Sen, and Miss Madhu for joining us and giving and enlightening all our viewers. Thank you very much, viewers, for joining us. Thank you very much.